Good evening, Mustang fans. We are coming to you from Plum High School Gymnasium on the campus of Plum Senior High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We're going to get you set for today's Quad A Section 2 matchup between two neighbor schools in the Penn Hills Indians and Plum Mustangs. The Indians come into this game with an overall record of 3-8 and a section record of 1-2. Over at holiday break, Penn Hills hosted the Battle of the Counties tournament where they finished 1-2. The Indians are led by senior power forward DeAndre Schifino, who is questionable tonight to play. Penn Hills is led by longtime head coach Jim Rocco. The Mustangs come into this matchup with a strong record of 9-2 and a section record of 3-0. Plum had a very successful Christmas break by going 3-1, with their only loss coming to former #1 team on the Whitfield, Hempfield. The Mustangs are led by junior guard James Edwards and by senior Michael McGuire. Plum is coached by longtime head coach Ron Richards. Good evening again. My name is Joe Nania. Alongside me are my fellow broadcasters, Nick Poprocki, Nick Spud Sitovich, Cam Kutzner, and TV production teacher Todd Lavarse. Guys, what do the Mustangs have to do tonight to contain a very versatile and athletic Penn Hills squad?
Well, I think they're going to have to keep playing really good defense. They've been doing it really well all season. The Indians have a lot of athletes. They're going to have to keep playing really well inside.
Mr. Lavarse, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, talking to Coach Richards earlier today, he had said it's a small team and they play small, but they're also very dangerous. They've got to stay in front of them tonight, and here we go with tip-off.
Penn Hills controls the opening tip. Here we go. Strong move to the basket by Penn Hills, and they start with a 2-0 lead.
Looks like already we're seeing the Mustangs sag a little bit more on defense than what we're used to. Maybe trying to control that speed.
Edwards for two. Off the mark. Controlled by number 14. It's Dante Wright. Out the other way. That's number 20, Cam Jeffries, on the other end.
And I think right there is what Coach Richards was talking about, trying to stay in front of them so they can't drive like that with his quick plays. Hopefully we can control the boards with maybe a little bit of a size advantage tonight, too.
Like we said, they are a very athletic squad. They like to get moving. A lot of pressure early for Penn Hills.
They're coming out playing with confidence. They're not afraid to play against one of the good teams here in the Whitfield.
Let's see if the Mustangs could get an offensive set going. Fuhrer for three. Hits.
Plum really needed that shot there from Will.
Fuhrer's not a big three-point shooter, but he's not afraid to take the shot. The other way, that's Jeffries for three, and he hits. We're just seeing good ball movement early by the Indians here. Edwards for three. He hits.
Early success from outside for both teams here.
Both are shooting the ball well early so far. We're not used to Plum, putting up 70, 80 points, but they aren't afraid to shoot.
Certainly not. They have a lot of guys who can score the ball.
Here's Sharon Schifino.
He's the guy that the Indians want to get the ball to. You can see why.
Yeah. Early 9-6 lead. Just about 2.5 minutes into this one. Here's McGuire outside. Pressure by the Indians. There's a travel. Indians are playing good defense.
They will put all guards on the floor at one time, and we can see, like I said, the athleticness, the tenacity right now.
They're very quick.
Nothing McGuire could do there.
You can tell Coach Richards wants to get his athletes on the floor. You already see Kevin Brown coming into the game just a few minutes in here.
We're used to Kevin Brown seeing a little bit of time, but this is an early entry for him.
Only a sophomore.
It's Jeremiah Ligon drawing the block. He'll go to the line for 2.
Speaking of Kevin, you guys playing football with him. It's good to see him recovered and back out on the court here.
Kevin struggled with a little bit of a hamstring injuries. Good to see him back on the court in full strength. First shot is good for Ligon. Ligon hits both.
I think you could definitely tell the Indians are playing really loose. Just seeing their demeanor before the game, coming out for warm-ups, they're not intimidated at all by their neighbor Plum.
And they're just 1 game out of the playoff race. 4 teams get in the WPIAL Section 2. There's Edwards drawing a foul. They are 1 game out of playoffs, so they have really nothing to lose. Big game for them, and they're coming out loose.
And if they're going to make the playoffs, this is definitely a statement game they would really need to make.
Mustangs are first place in the conference. Here's Edwards. Hits the first. Hits both of them, and it's an 8-11 game. Starting to see a little pressure from the Mustangs. They turn the ball over.
You can already see those adjustments being made by Coach Richards.
Vivino will play point guard. He walked, going the other way with Penn Hills. There's Dante Wright. Stolen by the Mustangs. Here comes Edwards. Easy bucket.
Great pressure, really good job there in the half court by the Mustang defense.
They're going to call a foul there. Looks like out on Adam Marr.
That's 2 on him.
Just a sophomore. He's playing really well this season.
Looks like Robbie Deemer coming in.
Yeah, looks like Deemer's going to replace Adam Marr. A little bit of early foul trouble. Inside. That's Sharon Shafino. He's their go-to guy.
And you could definitely tell early here that he's kind of their big guy. When they need to go inside, he's going to be the guy they go to.
Up by Deemer. Stayed with the play. Shafino, kick out, hits the 3. It's number 20, Cam Jeffries.
It's the second time we've seen Jeffries hit that exact shot from the corner. Plum's going to have to get out there.
Edwards for 3, and he hits. He's the go-to guy for Plum. We all know it.
He's money. He's been really good all year for them.
Inside. That's DeAndre Shafino. That's Sharon's brother.
So they got Will Fuhrer with the push there.
Penn Hills maintains possession.
I think we expected Penn Hills to come out and be aggressive, but they've been really impressive at how they've been able to attack the basket and get really good looks against this really good Plum defense, which is giving up less points than any other team in Quad A right now.
Here's DeAndre Shafino. Blocked by Deemer. Edwards will take it the other way, and that's stolen by Jeremiah Ligon. Here's Shafino. He'll take it. Rebound. Fuhrer will get the second chance. McGuire thought about the three for a second. So did Fuhrer inside of Deemer. Batted out. McGuire will hit the two. Mustangs take the lead. 17-16, just under 2 minutes. Looks like we aren't used to seeing a shootout with Plum basketball. It looks like we can see a lot of points tonight on the board.
Yeah, it's the aggressive play, and right now I think Penn Hills, even though they are now trailing by 1 point, they've been able to dictate the speed and the pace in which this game's been played. And I don't think Coach Richards really wants the game to be played quite this fast. He wants to slow things down. I don't think you can see right now.
They like the half-court style.
Absolutely. They don't necessarily want to run that pressure defense, but it seems like right now it's been working pretty well for them.
Looks like they're going to call that foul on Penn Hills. Number 12, that's Brennan Hill, his first.
They want you, so they can stop the shooting.
Edwards, rebound by Deemer, no shot.
They call travel.
I think they're calling a foul on the floor.
Yes, it's going to be an on the floor foul for
Doesn't
Penn
look
Hills
like
there.
it was shooting motion. McGuire will take the inbounds on the baseline. Inside to KB, Kevin Brown. His shot was blocked. Jeremiah Ligon. Looks like he got fouled. Head to the line for two, Penn Hills.
It's going to be, I believe, Will Fuhrer on the foul.
Ligon misses the first free throw.
That's one of those things Penn Hills is going to have to convert if they want to get back into the race for the playoffs. You got to get as many points as you can against a really good defensive team.
Converts on the second one. We got a tie ball game. Edwards is running point for the Mustangs right now. Looks like he's going to take the three. Not that time. Call Michael McGuire out of bounds there.
Traditionally, we've seen a little bit more bench use by Coach Richards and the Mustangs so far.
I think he's only gone one deep into his bench.
And it was
one or two.
It was Robbie Deemer and Kevin Brown who both come off the bench.
Ill-advised pass there by the Indians. Head the other way. Let's see if the Mustangs try to hold out for one last shot. It's a foul there. Number 11, Devin Thomas. McGuire had a little trouble with the inbounds early, but finds James Edwards in the backcourt. Out to Deemer, and he's blocked by Shafino. Shafino's just a heck of a player.
He really is.
Stolen by Fuhrer.
Really good read there.
Great defensive play by Will Fuhrer.
You could see the pass coming. He did a great job. Looks like number 3, Cameron Taryn, inbounded the ball, and I think his teammate was tying his shoe. He inbounded it to himself. It's a turnover.
Certainly not what head coach Jim Rocca was looking for
No,
there.
not at all.
Nice setup to Edwards, and he hits the three. Last second heave by Schifino is no good. Mustangs started out a little slow, but they finished strong here in the first quarter. 22-17 heading into the second.
Well, early on, the Indians were getting a lot of high percentage shots, getting some field goals early. In the last 4 minutes or so of that first quarter, the Mustangs did a really good job playing good defense, got a couple steals, some points in transition. We'll take a minute here to look at the Quad A Section 2 standings. Like we mentioned before, Joe said the Mustangs are number 1 right now in the Quad A standings. They're 3-0 in the section. They're 9-2 overall. Their only loss is coming to, I believe, Knock early in the season, and just recently Hempfield.
Hempfield was the former Quad A number 1 leader.
They're a powerhouse. They're always a very good team. Joe, what do you think right now the Mustangs are going to have to do to stay on top in this conference and win another section title?
Obviously, they're going to have to keep playing defense. They don't have a ton of three-point shooters. Jack Merrill could hit the three once in a while. We saw Fuhrer hit one, obviously Edwards, but they aren't a team that's going to hit 80 points a game. They just need to continue their defensive struggles, basically.
Definitely need to keep playing their game.
Here comes Edwards. Early foul. Just 6 seconds into the quarter. Plum has a huge matchup with Gateway this Friday. We'll be there in Monroeville to broadcast that one. What do the Mustangs have to do to look forward to that game? I know that they have a big one right now. Do we see a lot of looking forward to that game? Or?
Well, I think the first few minutes of the game, they looked a little bit slow. Maybe they weren't quite prepared for the speed of the Indians, but that's something they're going to have to face next week on Friday, against Gateway, because they're also a very athletic team. So, we'll see.
By Schifino.
We'll see how they, how they continue to progress in this game tonight. But I think they will be ready for that matchup.
Early on, 5-point lead for the Mustangs.
And both teams just traded 2-point baskets.
Here comes Edwards. Just powers his way to the hole.
And there's never any stress or worry when he goes to the basket. He's always under control.
You
and
always
he can make a
feel
shot
like
at any
he
point.
could score.
Definitely.
You always feel it. That's DeAndre Schifino to his brother Sharon. Looks like a foul there.
I'm actually surprised. We've seen a little bit less of Schifino with the ball on the offensive side than I kind of expected. Of course, he was, nursing an injury, and this is his first game back. But I think in order to win this game and to come back now, they're going to need him to, continue to play at a high level.
There was worry that he could miss this game. We saw before a couple minutes before the game he came out, looked great in warm-ups, and here he is out on the floor. He doesn't seem to be having any trouble.
No, he looks good, and defensively he's played very well.
Schifino missed the first shot. Hits the second one.
Looks like a little bit less pressure from the Indians, just kind of running the soft press, and not quite the full court they saw. The Mustangs offense saw here early in the game.
Well, they executed that well. Pat Cross would go to the line. That's a really good play set up there by Coach Ron Richards.
Yeah, the best way to break the full court press is to pass. You don't want to dribble through because usually that's when you'll find your turnovers and your breaks the other way. So great job by the Mustangs there.
Pat Crossy hits the first. Miss Lavars, what are you seeing early on in the game?
You guys already talked about James. This is my first game this year. Last year I noticed that sometimes it looked like he would press a little bit if they were, try to put the game in his hands, put the team on his back. This year, like you said, he looks extremely smooth with the ball every time. I really like the way as a team the Mustangs have adjusted right now, whereas I thought the Indians, as you had said, controlled the early pace here. Well, there's a great three-point shot, but I really think Plum is in control now. And they have found through passing some soft spots down low in the middle there, which I think if they continue to do that will break up the press.
Yeah, like you mentioned, that was the DeAndre Shafino 3. Both Shafino brothers definitely have been some
They
of the best
lead this
performers.
Penn Hill squad.
Definitely.
Here's McGuire. McGuire's going to take it in himself. That's Sharon Shafino. He's
Really
just,
nice play.
Just too strong. You know, you get the size advantage. He's a 6'4" guard.
He's a big guy.
You don't see that very often.
You see him
in
up
high
close,
school.
and he looks like a really good athlete, all around good player.
We saw him in football season.
Yeah, we did. He's an excellent player for the Indians football team.
Another three-point shot by the Indians. Here's Shafino.
That's good defense by Deemer straight up, and then a bad foul there at half court.
Shafino looks like he wanted a foul down low, didn't get one. Mustangs turn it the other way.
I'll say this about the other Shafino. He knows when he wants to take that shot. I mean, he lets it go very quickly out there. You'll see a lot of players that kind of double clutch or whatnot. He's very confident taking that shot from the corner.
And that quick release has helped the Indians nail a couple three-pointers here in the first half and stay in this game.
Looks like they're a three-point shooting team.
Yeah, I think that, you know, in order for them to come back from some deficits, they feel they, you know, have to shoot the ball from the outside, and they've had some success so far.
They were in the one-on-one there. Edwards missed a first. So is a live ball, and Penn Hill's got the rebound. Shafino will inbound. That's Cameron Terrence running point. That's a good drive by Jeremiah Ligon.
Just a
two-point ball game.
Two-point game here. It's, you know, the Indians have stayed real close. They've hung around. I think Coach Richards and the Mustangs would definitely like to get a little separation here, but the Indians' defense is doing a really good job.
Looks like the Indians' defense is making the Mustangs sort of uncomfortable on the outside.
It looks that way. And that's one thing you get when the majority of the guards on this team are underclassmen. The one senior in the game at the guard position is Mike McGuire, the guy with the ball right now.
Inside, Fuhrer kicks it out to Pat Crossy. Mike McGuire will try a three, no good. Here comes Ligon the other way. Shafino thought about it for a second and
He
traveled.
walked. The timeout by Coach Richards. What do you think, Joe, what do you think that Coach Richards is saying to his team right now?
You know, I really think he's saying calm down. I mean, they're looking a little rushed on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense, they aren't playing as strong as we usually see them. I think he's really emphasizing them calming down at this point.
Yeah, that's definitely, I think, what they need to do. There's no reason for them to worry because it's a close game. I'm sure for a lot of the players in this team, they expected to have maybe a little bit bigger of a lead by now, but they just need to keep playing.
Penn Hills came into this match 3-8. Not an impressive record, but we know they're a scrappy team. We know Penn Hills style of basketball. We know Penn Hills style of football.
The type of kids on their sports teams, and specifically football, basketball, these are guys, you know, they don't care what their record is. Plum Penn Hills, they're going to get up and play.
Favino, no one guarding him. Looks like we're seeing a 1-3-1 from Penn Hills right now.
Yeah, with Shafino in the middle, it's kind of hard to operate.
Good save by Pat. Outside stolen by Shafino.
I think we've seen some struggles early here from Taylor Vivino. He's just going to need to keep plugging along, playing his game.
Shafino to Shafino. Stuffed by Fuhrer, but it looks like they'll call it on Pat Crossy in the middle there. The Shafino brothers really are taking over for the Indians right now.
Yeah, and I think that's when they get into games like this, is definitely where they want to go.
Sharon misses the first.
He's missed a couple at the line here today. It's usually uncharacteristic for him.
Converts the second.
Mustang offense been really slow so far here in the second quarter after doing pretty well at the end of that first.
Just a 1-point ball game. Penn Hills is playing great defense right now, and it's just showing.
Yeah, they are crowding James Edwards. They don't want to give him space. He had an opportunity to take some long jumpers in that first quarter.
That's an uncharacteristic turnover by Edwards.
Yeah, and a very good on-the-fly transition there for Rocco and his team. He made a very good adjustment.
Looks like could have been called a foul, but a great defensive play by Kevin Brown.
We've seen a lot of Kevin Brown today. He's been very impressive. Defensively, he's playing well. He's the type of athlete that can keep up with these quick guards for the Indians.
On the floor foul. Looks like it's going to be on Ligon, I'm sorry.
We'll see James at the line now.
Looks like the Mustangs are in the bonus here. Hits the first, so he'll take another crack at it.
And I think that's what Plum, that's what they need right now. They need to get to the line, they need to get their easy shots because there isn't a whole lot available inside. They're going to need to play physical.
Edwards converts both, and that's big for them.
And they need to get a little something going.
Foul will be called on Deemer. Looks like the Indians will be going to the line now. That's the 17th foul for the Mustangs. It's Jeremiah Ligon. Well, we knew this wasn't going to be an easy matchup for the Mustangs, but we did not expect it to be this close, this early.
You said it, Joe. I think that Penn Hills has come out inspired. They're ready to play. They know that they need this game if they want to stay competitive.
They convert both, and it's just a 1-point game.
At 29-28, Ligon was able to convert both those foul shots. Another
Steal by
inside.
Shafino to his brother DeAndre. No dice. Here comes the Mustangs in transition. Edwards will take it himself and hit. Penn Hills with early ball movement.
And I think Mr. LaVarse, like you mentioned last year, when the Mustangs got in these close games, you'd see a little bit of pressing from James Edwards. Not seeing that so much right now.
No, that was a very smooth shot before.
They're going to call it out of bounds on Shafino. The Mustangs will take possession here. Just under 2 minutes left in the half.
An opportunity for the Mustangs to kind of calm the pace down, play their game.
Edwards from the corner doesn't hit.
Good patience after the rebound by Deemer. Kick it out, get something going.
Kevin Brown with the ball right now. McGuire hits a big three.
That's a big shot for the Mustangs.
And that's what they need from their senior captain, Michael McGuire.
Yeah, he's been quiet so far, hasn't taken a lot of shots.
DeAndre for Shafino. He'll match it.
Shafino's had a lot of success.
Just a 3-point game again.
We definitely saw that quick release.
Shafino upset with himself after that foul there.
Yeah, that's not where you want to foul a guy like James Edwards when he's going to the hole, taking an aggressive play. If you need to foul him, that's where you do a foul. You don't want to foul him in the corner where he's in a position where he can't really shoot the ball. That's not what you want from DeAndre Schifino.
Looks like a little frustration from Schifino. Him and Edwards exchanged a few words there. Edwards will hit the first on the the bonus. He'll hit both. Mustangs up by 5. Minute left in this game. First half.
I think I'd like to see the Mustangs have a good stop here, maybe get the ball back and have another opportunity to get some points on the board, build a little bit of a lead.
Looks like they're going to call foul here on them. Liggins at the line again for a 1-and-1.
That was a second foul by sophomore Kevin Brown. Looks like he's probably going to be coming out of the game. With just 43 seconds left, a 36-31 game. Mustangs with the lead.
Ligon misses the first opportunity, but the Penn Hills get the rebound. Richards is upset with Penn Hills getting that rebound there, Nick.
That's a very good box out by Dante Wright for the Indians. Just able to get position on Will Fuhrer.
There he walked. 30 seconds left.
This is where I think you will. That's where I think you will see the Mustangs hold. Probably try to take the last shot.
Looks like Penn Hills is trying to draw up a little pressure here, make the Mustangs uncomfortable, maybe force a shot, maybe get themselves another opportunity. Mustangs break the press. Looks like they will hold here. Just about 10 seconds left. McGuire.
Down to 5 seconds.
Looks like they might force one. Fuhrer off the mark.
That's definitely not the shot they wanted. But after all is said and done, a 36-31 lead here at halftime for the Mustangs. Joe, what do you think Coach Rocco is going to tell his Penn Hills players in the locker room after a pretty successful first half, I would say?
You know, they expect to be in this game. I know Penn Hills, and they really expected to be in this game. They have to know that they can't back down and really look forward to second half, maybe playing a little better defense. Mustangs already have 36 points in this one.
Yeah, I definitely think those are some of the points he's going to bring up. And
what do you think Richards says?
Well, you know, Coach Richards, he's a fiery guy. And in a game like this, I think he expected Penn Hills to come out firing. And I think he could probably see a competitive game coming. He wants his guys to stay humble. He wants them to stay focused. I'm sure there are some guys in that locker room looking forward to the Gateway game. Obviously, 1 versus 2, it's going to be a big one. He needs their guys to worry about this half right now. These last 16 minutes, it's very, very important for them to come out and play well, keep this lead, and finish off this game.
Guys, as we roll into halftime here, can I come from a different angle? I want to say as we watch the cheerleaders about to do their thing, shout out to our Plum band who has not been at basketball games previously. They're here tonight. They're adding that big game feel this year. We're very happy to have them here.
That's right. Bring in the spirit. And that's definitely, it adds a little bit of some fun to the experience.
We know as football players, it's great going to the band after a win. Nick, you obviously know the feeling.
Definitely, it gives you chills. You hear some of the songs they play during football season, and you immediately go back to the fall.
We're back after a quick intermission.
All right, yeah. So after seeing some of the Plum High School facilities, or not facilities, some of the
Gymnasium.
some good stuff here. We're back at the game. We've got the teams back out ready to warm up, and now with about 2 minutes before the third quarter starts, Joe, the Mustangs up 36-31. We've seen a little bit of a quicker pace than I think we're used to with this team. But I think it's exciting to see them making shots and getting open looks even against a team that's surprisingly, to me at least, a very good defensive team so far.
When we look at Plum, they're more of a pit style of team.
Right.
They like the half-court style. look at Penn Hills, they're more of a Duke Blue Devil type of team, and they like to get out and run the floor. I think Penn Hills has taken early control of the tempo so far.
And it's, I think, it shows just a little bit more that the Mustangs are capable of playing a faster style, a bit of a more athletic type of game than we're probably used to them seeing, and probably what Coach Richards wants to see them play. But they can play in games like this, and I think that they would probably rather dictate the pace of the game, but if they get in a track meet, they can be competitive in a track meet.
The pep band getting into it a little bit.
It's nice to hear some of the students getting involved and having a good time here.
I think the students will have a better showing at a huge game on Friday night. We said it before, we'll say it again. Plum is at Gateway. That's Friday. That's January the 9th. That's a big game, first and second place. Both teams are 3-0 coming into this matchup. What do you see in that game?
It's going to be exciting. I think you will see somewhat of a similar style from the Gators that you see from the Indians. But I think that Plum is going to come out with really the same game plan, the same guys rotating in. It's going to be a game of different styles, but I think that the Mustangs definitely have what it takes to hold down the defense and not give up too many opportunities to the Gators.
Penn Hills will start with possession. That's Jeremiah Ligon. He'll take it himself. That's definitely not the first defensive possession Richards was looking for.
No, and I think you can see Penn Hill's definitely coming out with fresh legs. They're excited, and they definitely feel like they're in this game.
Let's see if the Mustangs can counter that. There's James Edwards. Lost it for a second. DeAndre for Shafino the other way. Impressive shot. Very athletic
really nice
move
from Shafino.
And we've seen the Shafino brothers sort of take over.
Yeah, and I think that the other players are kind of deferring to the Shafinos.
That's a big three by Vivino. He needed that shot.
He struggled a little bit in the first half. He saw a little bit of that pressure running the point, but to kind of calm down and hit that shot, that's going to go very far for him.
Cam Jeffries tries a three and hits. We've
Nice
seen
step back.
Jeffries hit a couple threes in the first half.
He hit a couple from this corner, and now he was able to step up close to the arc. That was a very nice shot, stepping back and hitting that with a guy in his face.
Vivino will try another off the mark. And we're seeing Penn Hills control the early tempo again.
And you could tell from Coach Richards with that shot being right in front of the Plum bench, that is not the shot from Vivino that Coach Richards wanted to see.
Shot, foot on the line. That's Dante Wright. Couldn't hit that one. Foul the other way.
And that's another time we've seen Shafino with a foul in the open floor. That's going to be his third. And looks like they're going to take him out of the game.
That looks like it's Cam Jeffries. Jeffries hit the early three in the third quarter here. He'll take a seat on the bench.
Yeah, my mistake there. That was Jeffries.
Vivino. Looks like we haven't seen any Jack Merrill yet in this game. Usually he's one of the first off the bench.
Yeah,
He's a good three-point shooter, and maybe we'll see him in the second half. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen him. In the little amount that we saw Patrick Rossi, I was surprised. I thought we might see him a little bit more. He is a bigger guy who's an athletic type. But we've seen a much more aggressive Taylor Vivino so far. I think that is definitely what they wanted to see coming out. Now he's in the line with a chance to give the Mustangs a little bit of cushion.
Misses the first there. Vivino will hit the second. Mustangs have a 2-point advantage. It's 40-38.
And the Mustangs only averaging giving up about 40 points a game. So the Indians doing a really good job getting high percentage looks.
Not that time. Edwards will take it the other way. Looks like Mustangs luckily will retain possession. That is not the pass
No.
Coach Richards was looking
Coach Richards
for.
very frustrated with James after that forced pass inside to Will.
Deemer taking himself, and he'll hit the easy 2.
He's got tremendous control under the basket. We've seen it all year. He's a very good shooter close to the hoop.
In comparing and contrasting styles, what's different from Robbie Deemer compared to Adam Marr?
Well, Deemer is a junior this year. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit more mature. Marr, you see the potential. He's just got, the sky's the limit for him, but he's got a little maturing to do. I think when Austin Dietert was a sophomore, of course a senior last year, we saw a lot of the same things with him. He was a starter, played a lot, but they deferred a little bit more to some of the other players that were on the team that were a little bit older.
And Marr is only going to get better.
Oh, he's going to be an excellent player in a couple of years for this team.
So Deemer walked there.
Looks like he tripped up a little bit, kind of a tough break for Robbie. He was trying to get a good look inside.
Coach Ron Richards is not happy.
No, he's frustrated. I think he expected his team to come out in the second half and really be able to push the pace and kind of dominate the third quarter like we've seen them do before. So far, that has not been the case, as we had a timeout by the Indians.
Sharon got in a little trouble there and decided to take the timeout instead of force an ill-advised turnover over there.
Yeah, it's a smart move by Coach Rocco and by Siobhan.
What do you think Richards is saying to his players, Mr. Willibars?
Well, guys, I could tell you that he's suffering from a cold right now. Pretty bad head cold as I talked to him earlier today. So hopefully he's not getting too close to them, too into their faces. I know he likes to do that sometimes. But, Coach Richards is a great coach here. Definitely wants to inspire his guys. And you brought up the point earlier. You can't look past this team. I know you got a big one coming up against Gateway, which we will be broadcasting later on this week. But, yeah, you cannot look past this team right now. And we've been controlling, I think, more of the game since that opening flurry after they were trading 3 points back and forth. But got to stick to your game here with 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Really sharp ball movement from the Indians so far.
Ligon thought about a 3. He'll take it himself. Easy 2. 2-point ball game.
The last time we had a broadcast for the Mustangs here, we saw them play Valley, where Valley had a lot of opportunities close to the basket, but just didn't get good shots off. We're not seeing that from the Indians so far. They're getting very good looks, and they're finishing their shots.
And they look like a very disciplined team.
Definitely. You can tell why they're, in a tough conference, but still there and with an opportunity to make the playoffs.
Here's McGuire looking for options on the outside. Senior Will Fuhr.
I don't think we've seen any Mustang substitution so far in the first 5 minutes, with about 3:15 left in this third quarter.
Fuhr will take a little floater shot. Rebound Shafina. There's Dante Wright. Indians will take the lead.
You can tell the Indians fired up. They've come out and I think played really, really well here in this third quarter. They've controlled the second half so far. They now have 43-42 lead.
And their head coach, Jim Rocco, is fired up on the bench, and he's really inspiring his players right now.
But they've really neutralized James Edwards. He's really has not been a factor so far in this game as he nails this 3 right on the spot.
That's a big 3
Definitely.
for James
That's exactly
Edwards.
what the Mustangs needed.
And that was
the
deep.
bench, too. Yeah.
That was deep.
that's the kind of range Edwards has. He's not afraid to take that kind of shot.
Here's Sharon Shafino drawing a foul. You knew it coming in. Him and his brother were going to be the star players, and they've really shown up tonight.
Now down by 2 with roughly 10 minutes left in this game. He's going to get a lot more touches than even what we've seen so far with him. He's going to be the guy that the Indians look to. He's going to probably get the bulk of the points.
We'll have a chance to tie it up right here. Hits the first.
Very smooth stroke from a big guy. He's got all-around game. Also very good defender.
Let's see if he can tie the ball game here. Ties it all up.
45. We got a timeout by
this is
Coach
more
Rocco.
pressure than the Mustangs wanted to be under this late in the third quarter.
There's no doubt about it. And, with 2:20 left here in the third quarter, game tied at 45, they definitely are going to need to make a push. They're not in a position right now, the times they're in these types of games with about 10 minutes left, they got a 6-7 point lead. They can play, just kind of calm things down, run some clock, play good defense. They're going to need to score points to end this game because the Indians are definitely going to be able to make some shots in the last part of this game.
Well, we have 2:20 here left in the third. We're all knotted up at 45. This has been a good ball game.
Coach Richards really wondering what he can do to kind of change the face of this game. It's been a lot of Penn Hills Indians so far in the second half. They've done a tremendous job coming out and establishing their type of game.
Well, let's see what the response will be here from the Mustangs.
These guys in the Plum roster, they've always been a resilient bunch. That's the type of team that Coach Richards has always had.
They won't back down from a challenge.
They're not afraid to be in these type of games, and I think that they're going to be okay in this game as long as they continue to play the type of game they want to. They can't force too many outside shots like we have seen so far in this second half.
Vino and McGuire are in the backcourt right now.
And I think one major difference between the offense of these two teams, when the Indians have the ball, you see a lot more off-ball movement as Deemer goes inside and gives the Mustangs the lead.
Impressive move by Deemer.
If you watch Penn Hills with the ball, there's a lot more movement. There's a lot of things going on. It's, not quite as half court, I guess, as the Mustangs offense is. There's a lot of picks off the ball.
Looks like the Mustangs transitioned here into a 2-3 zone. We aren't used to seeing them in that.
No,
They're
not at
more
all.
of a man-to-man team.
That's the type of game Coach Richards wants to play. He wants to play man-to-man. But it
Looks like
hasn't
they
been
want
very
to force
successful so
Penn
far.
Hills to take perhaps bad shots. See them miss a few.
Credit where credit's due. Actually, I think they did just force them to take a bad shot there. It just happened to go in. It was a very nice.
Yeah, that was a very nice
defending.
finish.
Here's Fuhrer, deep 2 off the mark. They'll go right to DeAndre Shafino.
I think you look at the confidence level in this game, you can tell which team is more comfortable right now, and it's the Indians.
They're definitely controlling the tempo, and they're running the type of offense that they want to run.
Nearly stolen there from Will.
Shafino just off the mark. Penn Hills will retain possession, though. We definitely want to see more rebounds from the Mustangs. You can't have the Indians, the way they're shooting right now, have more opportunities than one.
No, the Mustangs are going to have to play a little bit tighter. I think Coach Richards is probably going to have to do a little bit more substituting here in the fourth quarter. He doesn't want his guys to lose their legs against a team that's a little bit quicker, a little more athletic than some of the other teams they've played.
Seen a little pressure from the Mustangs on this possession. Dante Wright thought about the 3.
Just 15 seconds left. Looks like they're going to hold for the last shot.
And that would be big for them going into the fourth quarter with a lead.
Especially after trailing by 5 points at the end of the first half.
That's Dante Wright off the mark. We go into the fourth quarter, all knotted up at 47 here. What do the Mustangs have to do in this last quarter, Mr. LeVars, to pull this one out?
It's a really good question. Do you try to get anything off the fast break, something they're not known for really, but do you need to switch things up a little bit at this point, or do we have the confidence? You know, we one of the best teams, I think, in the WPIAL. Stick to your game. I don't know. It's a good question.
We'll see what kind of things Coach Richards is drawing up there on the bench for the Mustangs. And I think, Joe, we've seen just the enthusiasm level of the Indians. When you see a Penn Hills player make a shot, their guys at the bench are jumping up, screaming.
Yeah.
When a guy makes a shot for the Mustangs, we don't see that same enthusiasm. Like you said, the pace of the game, but I think also just the level of how into the game the Indians are. They really feel like this is their game.
And you could tell by the tempo being always at their side. Head coach Jim Rocco is into the game. The bench players, like you mentioned, are into the game. They're really controlling everything right now, and the Mustangs need to put an end to it.
Like we mentioned before, when you have Plum Penn Hills, especially a Penn Hills team, you know, they comes in a little bit of a, you know, more actually a pretty big underdog. They don't back down to challenges, and they don't ever feel within that locker room like they should be the underdog. They're a confident bunch, and you can definitely tell.
The 3-8 Indians are a scrappy bunch. They go into the fourth quarter, knotted up with the 9-2 Mustangs. Here's McGuire on the outside. Looks for Fuhrer. He's off the mark, but he gets his own rebound. And that's a big step up for Will Fuhrer. Gets his own rebound and draws a foul.
Brennan Hill there of the reach-in on the floor. Just the third foul for the Indians. Mustangs only with one. Either team in foul trouble so far in the second half.
Vivino couldn't find anyone for a while. Finally found McGuire. Now it's out to Edwards.
Adam Morrow is a guy we talked about a little bit so far. Started off the game, had those 2 fouls in the first couple minutes as you see the Indians end up with the ball.
We haven't seen him since. Yeah. Robbie Deemer's been playing strong basketball. There's a great look by James Edwards. He's just impressive.
He's going to have to put the team on his back here at the end of this game. They need him to produce in these less than 7 minutes, 6:50 left.
It's great defense by Fuhrer. Schifino looked for Brennan Hill on the forecourt there.
Nice steal by James.
Got a 2-on-1 in here. Looks like it's DeAndre Schifino with the foul. He looks a little upset with that call. Thought he got all ball.
Yeah, he got a little bit of the arm on James when he went up to take that shot.
James hit the first.
Should be mentioned, too, as we get into the fourth here. James makes a second. With 6:40 left, 14 fouls now for Penn Hills, only one for the Mustangs. We'll see if that comes into play at all down the line.
Definitely a good point.
7 fouls gets them into the bonus. Schifino drills a 2.
Definitely a very much needed shot there from the Indians, and they knew who to go to.
Looks like McGuire struggling up top. Timeout called by Richards.
Good timeout by Coach Richards.
They were lucky to get that timeout called. McGuire didn't have possession for a second there.
You can just see the level of frustration on Coach's face. He's not happy. He just wants to see his players be able to break that press a little bit, but they've struggled with it all night long.
6:05 left here, 51-49. As you can see the scoreboard right now.
Joe, I think one positive of the Mustangs game tonight we've seen is they've shot the ball actually pretty well compared to, I guess, what we've seen them play a little bit before the holiday break. Their offense was struggling a little bit. They've actually been very good tonight.
Yeah, they have shot the ball a lot better tonight. Last time we saw them versus Valley, they didn't shoot their best game. Let's see if they could add to the lead here. Up by 2. Here comes Deemer. Foul by Brennan Hill.
Really nice drop step move. Nice move there with his feet by Deemer, able to get to the line. 2 big shots here for Robbie. Off on that first shot.
Hits the second. Still a 1-possession game. 52-49.
5:44 remaining. Joe, this is kind of the home stretch. What do you expect to see from the Indians here trying to get some points on the board?
Well, I see the Indians to try to look towards DeAndre Shafino as he takes a 3 here. And
Big
hits.
shot there. Really big shot, able to tie the game at 52.
Shafino is very dangerous with the 3.
Boy, that's a spot too, isn't it?
That is. He's hit a couple from the corner. We'll see how the Mustangs can answer.
Inside the Fuhrer. Rattles home a 2.
That's a big shot inside. Looking to one of the seniors. That leadership, great
Richards
move.
is really happy with that execution. Inside.
Great
Noah
look.
Garden.
Really good execution there.
Sharon Shafino hits an easy 2, knocks the game up. We're heading down main stretch, Nick. What do you look for from the Mustangs here?
Oh, that's a steal.
That's Shafino. And he got the and 1.
And 1. That's a game-changing play. A fantastic steal.
He really is a great player.
And it looks like Mike McGuire kind of complaining. It looks like when he lost the ball, the off man who didn't have the ball for the Indians, I didn't catch the number, but he looks like he got a hold of Mike's jersey. I don't think Mike's happy. He thought he got held before he committed that foul.
Shafino converts the 3-point play.
He said
that is a huge game changer.
And all the talk was about his brother coming into this game. Can he play? Well, not only has his brother played, but DeAndre has been a tremendous guard so far.
Let's see if the Mustangs can answer here. Edwards
Nice
hits a
pass
big
there.
2.
And James is automatic with a wide open shot
And it
like
looks
that.
like the Plum bench is getting a little more involved here. You can see Jake Matolo leading the charge.
You always see an enthusiastic Jake, no matter what. Really nice pass on that last shot, by the way, by Mike McGuire. That was a really good look.
Absolutely. And I believe that's 32 points for James now.
That's unbelievable.
James is having a heck of a night. And I think to go along with the Mustangs scoring more, when the Mustangs points are up, James's points are up too. He's always, if the Mustangs score 48 points, he's not going to have 30 of those points. The Mustangs are a much more balanced team than that, but when you see the team in itself and their points go up, you see a little more success from James. Inbound here will come from Dante Wright. Leading the charge on the floor, that's Cameron Tarrant. Some soft pressure from the Mustangs.
Open look for DeAndre. He's off the mark that time. McGuire with a strong rebound. Let's see if he can get out of pressure. Good pass by McGuire, too, to find Edwards.
Now a chance to take the lead again for the Mustangs with under 4 minutes now, 3:50 left in the game.
Foul called on Shafino. We've seen him rack up a lot of fouls tonight. I don't know how many that is.
That's his third.
That's his third.
And you can tell he's a very aggressive player on the defensive side of the floor.
You see a lot of guys, if they're pure scorers, that aren't so active on the defensive court.
He's a two-way guy, and same with his brother. That's the 6th foul on the Indians, so with only 2 on the Mustangs, you could see the Mustangs at the lineup a little bit more, as that is a foul right there.
Call foul. Looks like we get to the 1-on-1 here. Let's see if we could take the lead.
Smooth dribbling there by Vivino, making a guy fall, actually.
Let's see if Deemer converts the first. And he does. Big shot there by Robbie Deemer.
Robbie's held his own tonight against an athletic team. He's seen a lot of Shafino. He's played very well.
Hits them both. Mustangs take a 58-57 lead. Just about 3.5 minutes to go in this one.
Joe, it's going to be exciting. Another exciting finish of this game. The Mustangs are going to try to hold on to this 58-57 lead.
And this is what it's all about, Plum Penn Hills.
Get the walk.
Looks they might have called a foul there
they
on
had 2 different
Vivino.
calls. The one official called the walk, and then the other one, so they called a push on Taylor.
Ligon was trying to find.
Deemer made a nice play. Gave
Great
it
play
away,
by
and another
Deemer.
nice play there by Robbie.
Fuhr off the mark.
I think Willie thought he was fouled there.
Back and forth battle between the Indians and Mustangs.
2:45 left. You're going to see a very aggressive Indians team. They will not be afraid to take 3-pointers here at the end of this game, no question.
He walked. That was Shafino with a double dribble.
DeAndre very animated every time we see a call on him. He's definitely into this game. He's a very aggressive, passionate player.
And both Shafino's dad played for West Virginia. He was a great player. And you see him both by his sons.
They definitely grew up with the game of basketball.
Let's see if the Mustangs can break the press here. Great
Nice
save
safety
by
valve
Deemer.
play by Deemer. Like we mentioned, he's played very well.
We haven't seen a lot of Adam Marr.
Doesn't look like we will, as that shot's off from James.
No call there.
Penn Hills has numbers.
Jeremiah Ligon called a block on Vivino. Couple fans unhappy here.
That's a tough call. It was a good recovery by the Mustangs there, getting back to play defense. Bit of a questionable call.
In a spot like this, up by 1, just 2:09 left in the game, you see guys like Will Fuhr talking to his teammates on the court, making sure they know where they should be right now. That's definitely good leadership, something you want to see from a senior captain.
There's Wright missing the 3, but Fuhr will take the rebound.
Played by Will, and
Dante
another rough
Wright.
pass, a steal.
Penn Hill's playing with a lot of energy right now.
Aggressive on defense. They can tell the big guys in the Mustangs when they get the rebound, they're looking to kick out. They're hanging right behind, and that little bit of cushion, they're closing it when they get there.
This has
full
been
time
an
off from Coach Rocco.
excellent game between the Mustangs and Indians. Mustangs hold the 58-57 advantage right now.
1:41 remaining. I think anyway, we'll see a little bit of a longer possession here from the Indians coming out of the timeout. I think they want to hold the ball a little bit, make sure they get a really good shot down by 1.
Great call, especially with 7 fouls right now. You can't afford to be playing in your own end. I think you're exactly right.
Looks like Richards is drawing up a play here with his team watching. Let's see if they could execute.
Like we mentioned before, they always come out and play man-to-man. That's the type of defense they want to play. We saw a little bit of 2-3 zone. And just recently, I think the Mustangs kind of went back to the man-to-man. It's been effective for them here. The last couple minutes, the Indians haven't gotten as many open shots. It'll be interesting to see what they come out here in this possession.
You know, we were talking to senior captain Jake Matola before this one today in school, and he mentioned Penn Hills isn't going to back down. This is a huge game for them. They're one game out of the playoffs, and they're playing their rival Plum Mustangs.
Definitely, and Jake definitely felt like the Mustangs had a really good opportunity to come out and win this game, but he knew Penn Hills was going to be ready to play, and there's no question about that.
Let's see what both coaches drew up after the break.
Definitely a slower tempo than what we've seen so far. A little bit of pressure from the Mustangs. They are playing the man.
Jeremiah Ligon off the mark, barely. Good rebound by Deemer. Here comes Edwards running point.
We're under 120 now, about 1:15 left in this game.
They're going to call the foul again on Shafino. That looks to be his fourth.
It's going to be tough now because Shafino, they might need to do some substituting if they have an opportunity to. They don't want to lose one of their best shooters in a position where they could be down by 2 or 3 points.
McGuire will go to the line because that was a double bonus play. Not a double bonus, single bonus.
Does make the first.
He will get an opportunity to extend the lead to 3. Off the mark on the second.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him take this shot, and he does.
Looks like he was going up with the ball too, so he will head to the line. And that's big for Sharon Shafino to go to the line. This sort of opportunity.
Down by
left.
2. And that was only the Mustangs' 5th foul, so if it was on the floor, he would not have been going to the line. Definitely a nice aggressive play.
Two huge shots for Shafino here. He hits. Looks like Brennan Hill is going to replace Shafino.
They definitely don't want to let him get that 5th foul. They need him.
Especially if this game has a chance to go in overtime. You do not want to be Penn Hills and go in overtime without DeAndre Shafino.
After his brother makes that shot, they now are tied with 1:03 left, 59-59.
Brennan Hill made a quick substitution, but now Cam Jeffries is back in the game. We saw him hit a few threes earlier.
He's an excellent shooter from the corner, as he's now putting some pressure on Mike McGuire.
Good pressure there. Let's see if the Mustangs can take a lead here. We don't know if they will hold. It looks like they might.
45 seconds remaining.
Remember, there is no shot clock in high school basketball. They can hold it as long as they want to.
That's probably why you see a little bit more pressure from the Indians.
They want to force the Mustangs to take a shot here.
Now under 30. About 25 seconds remaining in this game. The Mustangs might be trying to hold you at that last shot.
There's a timeout by Richards, and I think he's going to draw up a play.
I think he wants to give them an opportunity to use a little bit of clock, get a shot, and if it doesn't go, still get an offensive rebound. The one thing you do not want to do if you're Penn Hills right now is foul. The Mustangs can afford to foul if they're put in a position where the Indians get the ball and they start to run the floor. Plum only has 5 fouls. They still have 2 to use. And then the Indians already now with 8s. Plum's already in the bonus.
You saw that work to our favor right now as they were giving us a huge cushion right there on defense and just allowing us to hold the ball, and now it gives Coach Richards a chance to drop a final play here.
And I think the Indians expect, I think we all expect the ball to go into the hands of number 32. James Edwards has been dynamite tonight, as he always is. If that look's not open originally for who, we're assuming he's going to be James, who do you think he wants to go to?
You know, I'm going to go to the senior, Mike McGuire. He's the go-to guy, if not to James Edwards, and I think he takes control of this game. I think the senior captain, Mike McGuire, should take this shot, if not James Edwards.
I would say look out for a guy underneath like Robbie Deemer. He's been very good tonight. And like we mentioned before, good finisher underneath.
Robbie Deemer has had an excellent game.
Definitely has.
Crowd getting a little involved here. 19.4 seconds in the hands of James Edwards.
Ten seconds remaining now. James trapped.
Underneath. Vivino. 2 seconds remain. Fuhrer.
Off the mark.
Off the mark, barely, by senior captain Will Fuhrer.
Looks like we'll have a little bit extra basketball here to announce, Joe.
Hey, nothing better than free basketball.
They're going to have a 4-minute overtime session. Here the game's still tied at 59. Joe, after that crazy push at the end of the game, do you expect to see that type of pace from the Mustangs here in overtime, or do you think they're going to slow it down?
I really think that they need to slow this tempo down. Penn Hills is an athletic team. This is the tempo that they want to run at.
And they've thrived after it all,
yeah.
thrived after it all night, I'm sure.
This is not a game that we expected to go to overtime, but it has two rivals, Penn Hills and Plum, and you wouldn't want it any other way.
No way. No way. And I think that the Indians definitely feel lucky to have given up those 2 looks and to still be headed to overtime. They have an opportunity now to make us push and get a really big road win if they can continue to get open shots. The Mustangs, obviously, they just need to calm down. They need to keep playing good defense like they really have very well for the last couple minutes of this game. And I think they will be in good shape. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Well, the crowd was really into that last possession. If Fuhrer would have made that shot, I think this place would have exploded.
This place would have erupted, that's for sure.
They will hold a jump ball in the middle. And this is big. The first possession of overtime is a huge momentum changer. If you score first, it's big.
Absolutely. There's no question about it.
It's going to be Deemer against Schifino here. Deemer wins a huge battle.
Usually not the jump guy. You usually see Adam Marr in that position. Coach Richards calling out the plays with his team in front of the bench.
McGuire, great drive.
Nice move there by Mike.
And that's a senior captain doing what a senior captain does.
Just like you said.
There's Jeremiah Ligon. He got fouled on the way in. But he'll head to the line for 2.
Fouls on Mike McGuire, his second. Team 6. So the next one will put the Indians in the bonus.
Ligon's been a good player for the Indians. He's made a lot of drives. He's been to the line quite a few times.
We saw a lot of him early, and now he's being a little bit more aggressive again, trying to get to the hoop.
Here he is trying to tie the game up in overtime. He couldn't do it. Deemer with a big rebound.
He's been really effective underneath, getting those rebounds on defense. He's been excellent.
And he's played, I'm going to say 90% of this game.
After those 2 fouls, I'd say it's 3 maybe minutes into the game by Adam Marr. Robbie's been in there, and this is the most we've seen him play.
And he's really impressed me. For sure. Off to McGuire. Vivino inside. A tiny bit off the mark.
That's a good shot, though. They worked to get an opportunity in the paint. Got a good look, just didn't get it to fall. Gonna have to play good defense with about 2:40 left.
Looks like the Mustangs are back in a man defense. We're going to call a block here on Deemer.
Robbie tried to draw that charge. Wasn't quite in position. Looks a little shaken up, but he should be all right.
Guess who's back at the line? Jeremiah Ligon. He hits the front end of a 1-1, tie this ball game up.
Now a chance to take the lead for Ligon. Nails it.
Gets both, and that's big for the Indians.
62-61, 2.5 minutes left in the first overtime session.
Fuhrer looked for the inside outlet pass there. Finds James Edwards. Good
Great
find.
look inside. Very good pass by Will. Good job to cut and get open. Back on top of the Mustangs, 63-62.
There's Jeremiah Ligon taking it again to the hole.
And again to the line for Jeremiah.
How many times have we seen Jeremiah Ligon execute a drive and get fouled and head to the line?
Well, you know, you said earlier in the game a couple times the Schifino brothers have taken over for the Indians. Right now, Ligon is taking over for the Penn Hills Indians.
We have to keep in mind that DeAndre Schifino is in the game. He has 4 fouls, 1 more, and he's out. And
That's
and
right.
That's big.
They've been doing a lot of rotating because they've had an opportunity a lot to get to the line and make substitutions on the fly. Hasn't played a lot of defense. Ligon gives them again the lead.
This is a big possession for the Mustangs.
Very big possession. It's imperative that they take care of the ball. Cannot afford a turnover, which...
You just look at Sharon Schifino. But
Right
there
back
he
at it.
is, James Edwards. Not that time. Mike McGuire.
Two open looks for the Mustangs. Now Schifino.
Schifino. Oh,
And
my
the foul.
goodness.
Gets it to go, and now an opportunity.
That is a big time play.
66-63 with a chance to...
The Mustangs had a huge opportunity on a run out. They couldn't convert. They had James Edward miss a layup, but Jeremiah Ligon was right behind them and playing good defense.
Mike McGuire had that open look, couldn't get it to go. Nice aggressive play.
Schifino makes it a 2-possession game.
This is where it's really important. The Mustangs get a good look, take a good shot, and then have plenty of time to play good defense on the Indians.
Penn Hills coach Jim Morocco is very animated right now.
That's a huge shot. His
James
foot on the line.
Edwards.
That is a 2.
He's just ice cold. He does not care. He will take that shot anytime, anywhere.
We mentioned before, he's really not afraid at any point to take that shot for the Mustangs. He's the guy they need right now.
Mr. LaVarse, what do you look for in this final 1:18 of overtime?
Well, obviously the pace is going to be slowed down by the Indians here when they get the ball back. Probably going to see them go to the line a couple of times here, I'd imagine, with a 2-point lead here with 1:18 left. We're going to have to get some of those rebounds off of a couple missed foul shots, I think, here to have a good chance.
And we've seen a couple times Robbie Deemer or Will Fuhrer getting a rebound. Those aggressive, fast guards making plays in the backcourt, having an opportunity to get a steal and get a layup. The Mustangs really, really have to take care of the ball in their own court right now.
How good of a game have we seen tonight?
This has been an excellent game. I think the Mustangs definitely, it's been a good way to prepare themselves for what's going to be a really important game on Friday. And I think that no doubt after this one, they will be very prepared for that game.
Penn Hills is given everything they've gotten in this one, and they lead by 2 here with 1:18 left.
Well, this is that statement game. They need this one, and they know they do.
Just over the outstretched arms of James Edwards. They force a
Great
turnover. Vivino misses the layup. Who's the foul going to be on?
The foul looks like it's on James Edwards from behind.
Wow.
Yeah, the push after the rebound on the miss by Vivino. Looks like the Indians will go to the line. up by 2 with an opportunity to make it again a 2-possession
That was
game.
a huge opportunity by the Mustangs there to tie that game.
Well, that's the second opportunity we've seen. After a steal, they come down a contested layup. Mustangs really needed that one. It's still a game with 1:02 left. Indians up by 2. Shafino's the guy the Indians want at the line right now with a chance to make it a 4-point game.
Let's remember, he has missed a few free throws in this game. Let's see what goes on in this one. 2 shots for Shafino. Hits the first.
Money on the first one. He is not fazed at all by the magnitude of these free throws.
Shafino trying to make this a 4-point game. Couldn't do it. It's still a 1-possession game. Edwards has the ball.
He was fouled, it looks like.
This looks like number 20, Cam Jeffries.
We've seen a very animated in this last couple minutes of the game. The student section really getting involved.
The crowd has really been vibrant in this last
Definitely.
fourth quarter onto overtime.
So it looks like after what appears to be the 9th foul for the Indians, that one on number 14, Dante Wright, his 4th. James will go to the line with a 1-and-1. Chance to make it a 1-point game.
And this is the guy you want at the line if you're Mustangs. Hits the first.
And they have put a few seconds back on the clock here. It did roll down to 57.8 seconds. We're back to 1:02 here. They put a few back on as the clock ran errantly. And big shot there.
68-67,
James
1
makes
minute
this
even
a
left.
1-point game. Just under a minute left in overtime. Sharon Shafino
Able to once again make a big play. James driving here.
Here comes another
With
turnover
numbers, Shafino.
to his brother.
With 30 seconds left, we got a
lead.
5-point game.
Penn Hills is just taking control with turnovers. Let's see if McGuire. That's a big shot by McGuire to keep this a 3-point game.
72-69 here, 22.5 left. The Indians are going to get an opportunity to inbound the ball. You'll see a lot of pressure from the Mustangs. And you'll most likely see, if they don't get a steal within the first 4 to 5 seconds of the possession, you will see a foul. Joe, what do you think Coach Rocco is telling his team right now? Obviously, they're probably going to get fouled. They need to make foul shots. What's he saying?
He really needs to tell his players, just keep on keeping on. They are doing what they are coached to do right now, and it's really showing. They're forcing turnovers. They're making baskets. They're just playing well right now, and he just needs to tell them to keep at it.
And they've kept great composure in this game. When some things go awry in their own end of the floor, they're able to get the ball back. It usually
It's just been back and forth.
yeah, and they've had a lot of guys in transition, a lot of open layups. That's exactly what they're looking for.
Kevin Brown is back on the court.
Along with
in his
Patrick
last
Crossy.
Pat Crossy. We haven't seen Pat in a while.
Looks like they want to have a few more athletic guys who could maybe get a steal or just use the fouls that
Free
neither of
throws?
them actually have fouls. Yes.
You're thinking Pat Crossy could be a better shooter than Robbie Deemer.
Patrick commits the foul on, yes, to Jeremiah Ligon.
Jeremiah's going to the line again. He has hit a lot of big free throws in this game.
Our first look here at Jack Merrill.
Jack Merrill into the game.
Maybe not, actually.
He has to wait till the first free throw,
That's right.
I believe.
Along with Taylor Vivino will be checking back in.
Merrill, as we know, is a good three-point shooter.
Yeah, we've seen him make some big threes.
We also see the Penn Hills bench getting involved. That's a big hit
Big time shot.
for Jeremiah Ligon.
4-point game, so the Mustangs are going to need to get at least a really high percentage two-pointer and a quick score here when they get the ball back. First, they'll need a rebound.
Ligon hits both. Let's see if the Mustangs can hit a quick three here. There's Levino.
Just 10 seconds left, the foul.
And that is not the guy, if you're the Mustangs, that you want to the line. It is if you're the Indians.
That's right.
DeAndre Schifino is a great free throw shooter.
They had no choice. They had to foul the first guy to get the ball. DeAndre got open. And just one make here was going to make it really difficult for the Mustangs to come down and tie this game. Up by 3.
Hits the first with no problem.
75-71. Indians with the lead. 9.6 remaining. Another shot coming for Schifino.
And he hits both. And that's sinking for if you're the Mustangs.
It really is. It's going to be very difficult for Plum. They can come down and get a good look. If they can hit a long 3, maybe 5 seconds left.
And get a quick steal.
And that's what they need. Down by 5 here, it would be probably, at this point in the game, a good look to just take a 3-pointer for the Mustangs, because then if you get a steal, you can have an opportunity to get a layup.
And let's give credit where credit's due. Penn Hills has come out this game with their backs against the wall into a Plum environment that's not easy to play in, and played extremely well.
We touched on it all night. You know, they are a scrappy team. They have the utmost confidence they're going to go in and they're going to play well, and they really did.
There's 9.6 left on the clock here in OT. Mustangs might look for a home run ball, perhaps.
A little bit of pressure here. 3 guys in the front court.
McGuire will take a 3 off the mark. That's going to do it. The Indians pull off a pretty big upset here against their arch rival, the Plum Mustangs. That's impressive.
A season-defining win in this regular season for Penn Hills. We talked about it at the beginning of the game. They really needed this one to stay in the playoff race against the #1 team in the section. The Mustangs fall 76-71. This is actually their first loss so far in the section. Joe, they'll fall to 3-1 in this section, 9-3 overall for the Mustangs. Penn Hills looks like they will go to 4-8 and 2-2 in section play, back up there with an opportunity to make the postseason.
And the conference is really wide open at this point. Your best team is 3-1. We don't know what Gateway did tonight. We'll look into that later, but Plum and Gateway are the leaders of this conference, and it's still wide open.
Definitely, and that touches back on the magnitude of the game on Friday against Gateway. Plum is really going to need that one. They're going to need to be prepared.
All right, so any last words, Mr. LaVars?
I did want to say, again, coming from a different angle, this is my first game I got to see this year. Very fun to see it. Even though it was a tough loss today, like you just said, it gives us some motivation going into Friday and what is a wide-open conference still. And it was just a lot of fun to watch. Good luck for the rest of the season for the Mustangs.
Nick, any last words?
You know what? It was, like Mr. LaVar said, a great game to watch, very exciting. You saw a lot of good play by the Mustangs and the Indians, and much like Mr. LaVar said, good luck for both these teams the rest of the year.
Well, we certainly saw a great effort from the Indians tonight. They pull off a 76-71 win in overtime. We're looking forward to a huge matchup on Friday between Plum and Gateway at Monroeville and Ferry Sports Complex. We will be at that game. From all of us here tonight, I'm Joe Nania here along with Nick Poprocky, Mr. LaVars, Cameron Kutzner, and Nick Spudsitovich. We'll see you all on Friday. Good night.